Good morning, good noon, good evening. Wherever time and place you're listening to us from, straight from the 909, it's Mark, Andre, and myself, Isaiah. And together, that's
hip-hop.
Today we have Lifestylez of the Poor and Dangerous in the lineup. It was released March 28th, 1995 under Columbia Records. And prior to its release was a promotional cassette tape dropped in 1994 consisting of 4 tracks, and it didn't make the final album. The production was handled by Buck Wild, Craig Boogie, Lord Finesse, Showbiz, and this has been highly anticipated. Big L is one of those names that you know is just, he's one of the greats, of course. I'm very excited to be talking about this today. What are your guys' thoughts going into Big L and his album?
It's going to be one important album to discuss because it's the one that a lot of people get introduced to him by. Mm-hmm. And once we explain the song that I'm going to involve key points into, you'll see the why he gets so he has so much notoriety throughout the industry, even presently to this current point.
Yeah.
And I mean, from my understanding of Big L and my studying, he's just the punchline king. You know, he's like the godfather of the punchline rap style. Yeah. Rhyme style, his rhyme ability, his rhyme skills. I'm the technical guy, you already know. He's just always been ahead of his time. And you can definitely see all of the influence of Big L, especially if they're great punchers, you know. You can see a lot of Big L and Papoose, Cassidy. They all have, similar roots to what Big L was doing. So, Big L to me was that seed that got these other MCs to try new things.
Yeah. So today we were voting on, which album we were going to do of Big L. I only knew of The Big Picture, actually. I didn't really know of this album that we're about to cover, Lifestylez of the Poor and Dangerous. And, I got outvoted, rightfully so.
Immediately.
Rightfully so.
The executive branch, the judicial branch, the Supreme Court,
the democracy,
all got together.
The democracy, I got outvoted, and rightfully so. I'm glad that I actually did get outvoted on this one, and that you guys kept me in check here, because this album, man, there was no skips for me. Right. No skips for me. I listened to it all the way through. It was very smooth. The beats,
ridiculous, all
felt cohesive again.
Yeah.
Similar to the vein of the last album we covered, Low End Theory. The definition of boom bap here, I get that a lot, and I love how he plays with that the double time when he starts playing around with that. It's so nice. I enjoyed listening through this album all the way through, for sure. Yeah. And with Big L, it's really interesting because you have to think of a time, early in the 90s or mid 90s actually, where Jay-Z he wasn't really known like he is today, right?
He had a different rapping style, and
he was like, when he first started, he was like double timing everything.
Yeah.
But when he really, really early on first started, he was double timing everything. But he didn't sound like what we have today,
right.
Of course. But
right.
It's like the early remnants of Jay on the album.
Yeah, before he was introduced to the import-export industry, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, Jay-Z nowadays, he's the big dog. Mm-hmm. Like, he's the big dog in this, know, and his name will it'll be recognized wherever you go. But you got to think of a time when Jay-Z was getting put on by Big L. There was a time when he was on a radio show, and Jay-Z did a freestyle. He had a lot of energy. He was doing his double time thing. Like, you could tell there was evidence that this guy was going to be, in the future, he was going to be a big thing. But at that time, he wasn't enough to carry the weight of the show. The night belonged to Big L. Yeah. And Big L was he had a lot of tenacity to him,
unwavering, unapologetic for
fire.
Rhymes.
Right. Yeah. Very unapologetic rhymes.
Yeah, extreme. I like that extreme fire. Just fire. And I mean, in terms of the aggression, you know what I mean? Like the hunger in his style. He sounded hungry, especially on this one.
I was telling you guys earlier, I felt like he was a combination of, or maybe these guys were a combination of Big L, but I heard influences, like Jay-Z, Nas, Pac. There was a lot of those styles that I heard by listening to Big L, you know, and I know this is the man that put fear in Nas, you know, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, put fear in Nas.
It became very competitive.
Yeah.
You can hear it. You can hear it in everybody's like entry album, like where, you know, 94 with Illmatic comes out. And then when Lifestylez with Poor Dangerous comes out, it's like everyone wants to prove something. And when you think about New York like that, you know, you think of the 5 boroughs, everybody has, you know, a set to rep or a, you know, a locale to rep, and they got to defend it with their honor, and their honor is through lyrical means.
Yeah. The energy alone, though, you know, I feel like this was a period where energy, bravado, skill, talent, all of those were one thing, and you had to have all of them. You know, some MCs today, they can be lazy on the mic but still have a good pen. I don't think that was acceptable back then. So Big L sounds mad on this one. He sounds crazy. You know what I mean?
And it's good to see. It's good to see street level rhymes mixed in with incredible lyricism and wicked punchlines.
Very witty.
Yeah, punching though.
That's funny.
Yeah,
legitimately funny sometimes.
But also, I mean, he has a dark side, and I feel like the sound that he was making for this period, some would tag it as like a light horrorcore, but it's just because of the graphic subject matter of what he talks about and how dark he can get. Yeah. But you know, his darker sound is what they say is like his home sound. And then all of the lighter stuff that we hear is kind of what he made
just for the album
general audience. Yeah, general audience.
You know, there's an audience who just appreciates the rhymes. You know, no matter how gritty they are, sometimes they just, like for me, example, I'm like that, where I'll listen to an album and I just like the rhymes. And, you know, but then once you listen to it, that's another difference. You know, there's some people who listen to the actual lyrics and, you know, they might, you know, get that, oh yeah, this is hardcore, a little bit too hardcore for me for some, and some might, you know, like the taste of it because he's bringing a real picture to you. So I feel like he definitely is the kind of rapper that will get the attention of both because his rhymes are so he just delivers potent couplets, you know, that's just like, boom, they pop to you. And I was asking you guys earlier, I was like, what is it about his rhymes that just grab your attention or sound so nice?
It's phrasing.
He
phrases everything so well, you know, and it's about symmetry and balance when you rhyme, you know. So if you're rhyming at the end of the bar, that's what you're going to get. That's what the typical rhymer does, especially around this period. So with L, it's like he's rhyming every 2 beats of the bar. The bar consists of 4 beats. Every MC rhymes on the 4th beat, the last beat. Or he's rhyming on the 2nd and the 4th. So you get all these like patterns that are lining up, like he's doing internals and he's doing end rhymes back and forth. Whereas most MCs, you know, to their understanding, you just have to have an end rhyme, a rhyme at the end of the bar. Whereas Big L is lining his rhymes up at the beginning of the bar and the end of the bar and the beginning of the next bar, at the end of the next bar. Everything is symmetrical with his style. So everything sounds even, balanced, and good. You know, it's not sloppy, like wrote on a pen. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not sloppily written and he's just saying what he wants.
And to have that kind of strength to rhyme like an MC like that, your words have to be precise, delivery has to be on point. And sometimes people try to do that same kind of style and they have too much to say at the end of the bar and then they get rushed.
Yeah, they get rushed.
Big L didn't do this at all in any one of these cuts.
For example, in one of these tracks that features Jay-Z, I felt like he did do the double time thing, but it did feel a little rushed, to be honest. And that's to your point, you know, how sometimes it could feel a little rushed or not precise. But Big L's precise in his delivery. Yeah. You know,
he anchors. Well, I call it phrasing, or like your flow is in phrases. So everything we say is in a phrase. So if your phrasing is perfectly bracketed, everything's aligned, then the rhymes are going to sound great. So L, rhyme wise, is just perfectly on rhythm. Some MCs, like Mark said, though, it's like they'll get to the end of the bar line and they're not satisfied with what they said. They want to finish their sentence. Whereas Big L would edit down and just make sure that at the end of that second snare, he's done with his rap. He's done with what he's saying, at least. A lot of MCs will just go past the second snare and just keep rapping. And what Big L does is, we see a lot of it now today where everything is just perfectly in blocks. But Big L is like the early seeds, especially around the 90s. So he was just doing it perfect. And I think Big L, he has his own version of what he's doing. And then you see a bunch of people just doing what he does. But yeah, very smooth, man. It's just reminiscent of like what Nas was doing on Illmatic. But he took it to like he had it in a different angle. if you could
Yeah.
say it that way.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the cover? The cover, has him standing at the
It's just
street.
a whole bunch of posters.
Homeboy in the street,
corner,
man.
like,
Looks like he's just on the block in Harlem.
And he has a group of guys behind him. Are these his homies, or is this
Might be the digging in the crates crew.
Yeah.
yeah. But no, that's the squad, man. And I think he's just speaking and representing Harlem all the way.
Yeah. I definitely get that from looking at this cover.
Oh yeah.
So we chose this time. Our song selection was a little bit more complex. We chose quite a different range, but there was one that did stand out that we all chose, which was the first track.
Yes.
Put it on, man.
Put It On was one of those ones that, like, just right away I was just like, this is like the full display of, a good entry point for Big L. Great introduction.
Oh yeah.
For Big L,
Good
because he kind
choice
of
for the
displays a
single.
little everything on this.
Everything, but I mean, if I could say this though, he really goes hard on this one.
Yeah.
Like, and of course it's the single, but this is the first track on his debut, and this is it. This is perfect. Like, this is the perfect opening. We always, if you guys notice, all the classic albums we pick have an excellent first rap song. Sometimes they'll have an intro and then a rap song will be the second song, but usually the first track that you hear from them spitting is outrageous. And this one, Put It On, to me, it just feels like it's not his native sound, because his native sound is really dark. Very dark and brooding in Harlem at midnight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's not a comfortable sound, honestly. And this, to me, it's like he sprinkles some pop sensibility on it. Not being a pop song, but sensibilities of, I'm not going to talk about killing your mom.
Dialing
type
it
stuff.
back a little bit.
Right, dialing it back with the gruesome imagery and going forward with a lot of lyricism. I'll take you out lyrically instead of beheading you or whatever, right? So it's just digestible. You feel me? And everything he does on this, though, I mean, rhyme-wise, cadence-wise, he does it to his best. I think this might be the most lyrically dense attempt on the whole album. So I got to say, this is one of his best ones, without a doubt. This represents what L is. And this is L showing that he don't got to be super evil on the track, but he can do it with the pen no matter what.
Right. And he leaves a good message for us all during this, during the mid-'90s, dealing with this intense crack epidemic. He also gave us the PSA of letting us know that a lot of dudes would be virgins if crack never came out.
Yes. We mentioned that on the KRS-One episode. Yeah.
So, coming in the beginning of the song, I like how they give it a little bit of time for like this song to marinate.
I like that.
And every time I'm hearing it now, knowing the fact that Big L's no longer with us, this is what I would like to mention as like in memory of kind of thing. This is like the best in memory of Big L, the most presentable, because you're not gonna try to show people 8 is enough that quick, or like his other joint All Black.
Right.
You'd want to show him Put It On first. I'm like, yo, Big L's nice. Check this out.
True.
Yes. And it's exactly what you think it is, too. It's like, Put It On is the perfect representation of what he's trying to say. You better flee hops or get your head thrown 3 blocks. L keep rappers' hearts pumping like Reeboks, like Reebok pumps. Back in the day, everybody had Reebok pumps. But the idea is that rhyme thing I just shared with you, right? Flee hops, get your head thrown 3 blocks. So he rhymed before he finished the sentence, right? That's just, it's a technique that we utilize normally today. But Big L, to me, felt like he fathered this shit. Like, he does it like he knows this is his style and this is how he does it. So he always is going to have a rhyme. There's going to be an internal rhyme everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Especially in this, especially in Put It On.
But the end rhyme is the most important part of it, right? So 3 blocks is the main rhyme of that whole situation, and he's just going to play with the sounds in that. That's how talented he is. Like, okay, look, L keep rappers' heart pumping like Reeboks, right? But it could be keep hearts pumping like Reeboks, right? But he changed the letters, or he changed it around. So L keep rappers' hearts pumping like Reeboks. He knows where he could have put the rhyme there, and he deliberately kept it, but he separated it. So he knows what he's doing, man. Big L is a genius with the pen. Love.
Yeah, I like that a lot. You're right.
My guns go boom, boom. Your guns go pow, pow. I'm sorry, just.
I like his pronunciations on words. I'm a big fan of that. I do that in my style when I start rapping. I like the pronunciation of words. That also is a factor to me. I feel like he has that in his repertoire here. So when he goes like, I got wild style, like I just like wild style. Like I like the word choices that he uses to describe these things. Always been foul, child. My guns go boom, boom, and your guns go pow, pow. Like I just love even the play. like pow pow, you're with your finger. That means you got no firepower.
But, I mean, boom is a bigger automatopoeia than pow.
Right.
Literally, like,
Boom, he got a real gun.
Yeah.
Pow pow,
is
you don't got a
smaller.
gun. You're just faking it.
But I mean, the visualization is there, and the way that L is able to like break that shit down, man. I really feel like he really was trying to prove that he can write this way, but he wants to write like all.
He wants to write
all night,
like,
all dark, all black, all black. My bad. It's like all black is really the sound that he is. But this feels like he just sprinkled some light on it, man. But hottie open, shoddy smoking, body broken. Like that rhyme right there. Like that just the way that it comes together. It's a 4-syllable rhyme, and the cadence is perfect, man. His cadences is what is important, right? And the cadence is just your flow, the way you say it, the way that you connect your words, right? Yeah. He's dope with that shit. That's his style.
And nothing goes out of the ordinary within the song. Like the tone, the theme is all good too, because he says, "Hey, look, I'm packing some heat. I'm always gonna keep you guys scared." But then it's like when
the PG-13 version.
And then when and this is a great example of what you mentioned, because he could talk about, "Hey, look, I'm gonna." You just use a bunch of expletives if you wanted to, but he says it a little. He could say it a lot more thorough like this. And when it comes to getting nookie, I'm not a rookie. I got chicks that make Tony Braxton look like Whoopi.
Right.
That is. You could go.
You could have been more, like you said, more descriptive with that, and chose.
But he could have called her
words.
a bitch. He could have called her a bitch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he actually took another route.
I'm out to get the pee or something like, you know.
He's on it. He to me, it's like I really felt like they said, we just need you to make this single, man. And he did it. It's nothing. Yeah. And to me, all the content here is just that battle sound. We've always heard the battle sound, especially around this period. But it's like the punching I'm more interested in. He punches more than
usual. Combos, man.
Yeah, it's like combos. Yeah. It's like TJ
Step to this good is gone. Word is bond. I leave Mike's torn when I put it on.
You know what I enjoy so much too? His slang. He has a lot of heavy slang.
Oh yeah, but that's
his lyrics.
It's his language, I would say. Big L had his own language, man. You know?
And that's what I love, because he incorporates that so much that it's cool, you know, the way he, you know, has a certain lingo for it, and he's bringing like the streets to you. You know, that's what it is.
And it's good Easter egg for the local crowd too, because everybody around would always know what he's talking about, or the surrounding dialect.
Right, but in verse 2, he still gets ignorant though, right? Big L is a crazy brother, and I'm a lady lover, a smooth kid that'll run up in your baby mother. He's gonna smash a chick. I push a slick Benz. I'm known to get hit skins and get ends and commit sins with sick friends, right? Once again, we got mad internals with the 2-syllable rhyme, right? But also, he's just rapping about what typical guys rap about too, right? I'm smashing your bitch, I have a nice car, right?
Right.
But it's L's style. And L doesn't typically rap this way, you know what I'm saying?
It's
so
all
he's doing
black, dumbed really down.
Right, it's not dumbed down. It's
not dumbed
like
down,
he said, he
but
just took a step back from what they would call horrorcore. And horrorcore is just violence and grotesque imagery. And he just took a step back to say, I won't cut your head off and leave blood leaking, right? He'll just behead you, right? That's the pop sensibility version of what he does.
You could go faster with these lyrics, but Big L style, you don't want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You really don't want to. It promotes delivery, especially when you have the internal rhyming, especially when you want to make a point in between, and that's a compliment to Big L style, especially with the way he writes. I mean, he could, you could see in a couple of examples where he will speed it up.
Yeah, and he double times it really smooth too.
Yeah.
And double timing isn't easy. Well, at least at the time, like double time, like I said, Jay was really good with double time. So Big L at the time, he had a double time style, but he didn't like overexert it. He just used it at the right times. And to those that don't know what double time flow is, just, you know, we take it from one time and double it. Right. Yeah. So if I'm saying I'm the dopest on the mic, according to the beat, you know, I'm the dopest on the mic, I'm killing it every night, right? You have to double it up. You have to do twice the effort. And Big L is phenomenal at this concept. It's
like he had a swing to it.
He had a swing to it, but he doesn't, like I said, he doesn't overexert it though. He's like, he'll do the double time flow for maybe 2 bars and then he's done with it. Whereas rappers today, you know, like Eminem or Eminem, they're gonna do double time for 8 bars straight if they can, you know, or they'll just go for a really long 4, you know, and just really kill it with the double time. But Big L, to me, he was just doing couplets of it. But at the time, you know, flow switches were kind of like they were important as having a unique style, but flow switches did matter, you know what I'm saying? So Big L had the whole package. It's just, you know, I feel like the time he was in loved him. He has everything he needs, man. This album to me, or at least this song, is just what you do to punch down the door. You feel me?
One consistent thing that he does, and it's just something that I noticed. I don't know whether or not it would have, if he would have done the choruses. There's really not a lot of choruses that he does in any of his songs. It's just really like, even when he has Kid Capri, so put it on, Big L, put it on. He'll have other people doing the choruses for him.
He's the MC.
It's a consistent thing that I noticed. Which isn't, not a lot of people were doing that kind of style. It's something unique about him in that respect, that we can actually mention.
It could almost go unnoticeable, because I didn't really it didn't stand out that he wasn't doing the choruses to me, but that you bring it up now that you mention it, I'm like, oh yeah.
There's actually no organized, single-esque kind of chorus. This is just more of like, hey, look, I'm going to be doing these verses.
I'm going to take a break, and somebody else got it from here.
But that's cool, because he's actually trailblazing in his own respect with that, because again, we don't notice that as some sort of weakness or some sort of or not to downplay, because this is
3 bars, a track.
At least making up for it, or actually just being stronger in that on that side of the song.
If you battle L, you pick the wrong head. I smash mics like cornbread. Cornbread. You know, like just imagine it dissolving in your hand. You can't kill me, I was born dead. Rest in peace.
Wouldn't it be clever to miss? Some living competitors pissed.
Yes.
Tell you the truth, it gets no better than this.
That's fire, man.
Catching wreck on the break of dawn. It's a song you must, man, it's fire.
It's beautiful, man.
My rap steady slamming, I keep a heavy cannon. It's a new sheriff in town, and it ain't Reggie Hammond. So shout out, my guy likes 48 hours. That's 48 hours. Like his Eddie Murphy line right there.
That's fire, man. Put it on definitely is the perfect beginning, right? It's the single that starts the album, and it works. It works perfect, man.
Yeah, I thought his story was so interesting too, because he met what was it, Lord Finesse in the record store. You know, I think Lord Finesse was signing some records or whatnot, doing a signing. Yeah. And he didn't approach Lord Finesse. He had his boy approach Lord Finesse, and he comes over and he tells him, yo, you know, my boy's nice. He wants to rap for you. And then Lord Finesse tells him, well, you know, have him call my agent and, you know, rap for him. And if he likes it, then, you know, I'll hear him. And then he sends his boy back and goes, hey, nah, he wants to rap for you right now. He wants you to check him out right now. And he goes, if you don't like it, he'll leave you alone forever. Like, he'll never bug you ever again. And then he checked him out, and it was just like, he said, after he heard him, he was like, man, after I heard him, I wanted to get all his numbers, man.
Right.
Dang.
And I'm like, dang, that's crazy. That's like a dope come-up story.
Big L put me on.
Right, exactly.
That's a dope come-up story on Big L, and just how he, like, came, like, he was a diamond in the rough, just out there.
Still one of the MVP.
Still one of the sickest MC names ever, Lord Finesse.
Right. Lord Finesse is sick. Yeah, that's sick. So we're on MVP was the next choice.
Oh yeah.
You guys both chose MVP. Yes. I like this song a lot too.
It's a great follow-up to Put It On, right? And tonally, I feel like it's in the same vein as well, instrumentally and everything. And I just like how they flipped the sample. I mean, I don't know if they flipped the sample directly from Big. Like, it sounds like they took it from Big's song and not the actual sample of the track. It's like they took, but it looks like they took it off a Big song. Yeah, like they actually did Big song.
Oh, like the audio rip. Sounds like it's from that.
It sounds like it's straight out of Big song, and then they just kind of layered shit on top of it.
Because you could tell he has respect for Biggie.
And it's Big L. You know what I'm saying? His name is Big. So I thought that was interesting. It's just instrumentally, it sounds like that, but it really does sound like they just threw their sounds on top of the sample. So when I first heard the beat, I was just like, I kind of just staring at it, like, you know, listening to it and going, that just sounds funny to me. It didn't sound bad. It just sounded funny. Like, it just sounds like y'all just put sounds on top of that shit. Right. Not that the sample is a part of the song, but y'all just layered on top of it. Yeah. But then as I kept listening, I was like, no, they produce it perfectly. It sounds dope.
Big L has a rhyme style that makes you want to repeat the whole verse.
Yeah. Right.
And not just like bars,
but in his cadence too.
Yeah, exactly. And here I am in the car, in my truck, getting to work. And I'm like, yo, spark up the Phillies and pass the stout. Like, and even at the part where it really picks up, he's like, in a street ball, I strike men quicker than lightning. You see what happened in my last fight, friend.
I did.
What's a nice
L's a
bar.
That sounds
clever
like a
thread,
Doom. That
lyricist
kinda sounds
who
like a
never
Doom.
sweats. Comparing yourself to me is like a Benz to a Chevrolet.
Yeah, and he says Chevrolet on purpose for the rhyme. I mean,
Yeah.
but it works though. It lands. You feel me? We know it's a Chevrolet, but come on, that's MC shit. That's rap shit, man.
Yeah.
When he said Chevrolet, I was like, oh yeah, that's perfect. I get you. No, because Big L can pull that shit off, man.
Yes.
And clown
Yeah,
rappers,
dude.
I'm bound to slay. I'm saying hi to all the cues from around the way. I just a style from Big L, man. It's like it makes you want to bounce, bro. He's just so smooth with this shit.
He's also
street as
familiar
fuck,
with
though.
he's also familiar with physics too, because my girls are like boomerangs. No matter how far I throw them, they come back. Very scientific.
Stupid. He's a physicist.
He's a physicist with the lyric kit.
But like the impact of this, because like, you know, I got them all sprung, Jack. My
Yeah.
girls are like boomerangs. No matter how far I throw them, they always come back. Like I
Yeah.
just love the impact that he delivers on those punchlines
Oh, yeah,
too.
facts, man.
I think the first time anyone's ever mentioned a boomerang in a rap song, props. Australia was like, yeah, my,
We're on the map.
we're on the map, Mike.
You can see us.
Yeah. And his hook was sick. The concept alone is dope. I mean,
Oh,
you always
rap
want
is
to
a
be
game,
the
might
rap
be
MVP.
I mean,
you
that's
know?
a great metaphor too,
Yeah.
man. It's an early metaphor, but it's the metaphor that I've heard, echoed.
And then paying respects to Big Daddy Kane with the most valuable poet on the MIC.
And that's what I was telling Zay early before we started. I was like, there are remnants of Big Daddy Kane's flow and what he does.
Yeah.
Right.
He has Big Daddy Kane-isms, but I feel like he aligned more with the Nas sound.
Yeah, because Kane was and still is one of those rappers who covers all bases like Rakim. It's like Big L kind of teeters on the super street side, especially when you go into the like the 8 is enough or the all black type of lyrics that he does. But it's cool that you can see a lot of Kane. There's a lot of Kane within Big L, and that's a benefit because at its core, Big Daddy Kane's extremely well-rounded lyrically in all corners, whether he wants to talk about moving weight, just being super lyrical, want to be a Mac, either one, you know.
Yeah, I love that a lot. Most valuable poet.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Those bars, man.
Verse 2, yo, it must be that I get papes.
Peace to all the DJs again.
Keep me loving mixtapes. Yeah, I love
Wait,
how
no, I got juice like Boku. Mad Crews I broke through. Brothers be mad because I hit more chicks than they spoke to.
And every time I'm jamming, I always find a loophole. I got a crime record longer than Manute
Manute
Bowl.
Bowl.
I like how that starts at the top and it's like an elegant. It's just like a great looking waltz.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to everybody who's familiar with the waltz, but it's like just a glorious dance of lyricism.
Yeah.
And he puts you through. He sets you up at the top, and you're like, "Oh man, something's gonna come at
But
the
the
end of
crime
this."
record stacking as high as Manute Bowl is ridiculous.
Yeah, especially if it ends like that too. Especially with the rhyme he kept.
Yeah.
He kept it right at "I got juice like
Loophole.
Boku."
Yeah, but loophole and Manute Bowl. How do you even?
Yeah.
Come on, like at that time, man. That's one of those. I call it Eminem. And Eminem is when he rhymes like a name that doesn't make sense with anything else. Like so, Manute Bowl. I'm sure he was just trying to find a combo for a loophole, man. That shit is dope, man.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Wait, my raps are unbelievable, like aliens and flying saucers. No more iron horses because I'm buying Porsches. He got the accent, so you have to say.
Oh,
it like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
But he's matching flying saucers with iron horses and buying Porsches, right? But come on, man, the accent game is crazy.
You could tell he's on Eminem's side too, because like later on in verse 3, he goes, "I got 10 fingers, but I only use one. I run up on like Machine Gun Kelly
with a black
Machine
skull.
Gun
Wait,
Kelly."
because Machine Gun Kelly is like this gangster,
So
right?
you could tell he's on Eminem's side.
Stupid.
here.
He saw the future. He saw MGK dissing Eminem
Yes,
with
he's
Rap
dissing
Devil, and
he's dissing Machine Gun Kelly. Like
The most valuable
from the past.
oracle on the MIC. He has Eminem's back.
he predicted the future. He's
Yeah,
he's
so you can
he's
tell,
like,
Yo, peace to Skynet, because they always come up.
yo, that's shady. No, just playing. But yo, I love his style, man.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
L has big
Put
style.
one in
Wait,
your
wait,
belly,
wait,
leave
yeah.
you smelly, and take your pelly.
make you
Yes.
smelly. Make you smelly. That was the one I was trying to find.
Oh, yeah.
Make you smelly, right? Like it's the simplest description, right? I don't want to get nerdy with you guys, but you only have so much time per bar to say something.
And to be descriptive.
To be descriptive, you have to be very descriptive. Make you smelly? That's so short, straight to the point. You're dead. You stink. I love that shit, man. No, because like when you look at Big L, it's like he's got to be a gangster. I think Hannibal Buress had this joke. He was just like, rappers are funny. Gangsters are funny because I want to talk about killing you, but after the 16th bar, I got to have a hook because I want to be a marketable gangster. So, you know what I'm saying? After the 16th bar, I got to stop talking about murder and talk about something else. But to me, Big L is just to take this sound he has and making it sensible for pop is hilarious. And then I feel like the seed we get out of Big L is Cassidy. Cassidy was like the pop, like escalation of Big L. You know, Cassidy, he just got in the right pockets, man. Cassidy does the same thing as Big L. He punches like crazy, rhyme schemes like crazy. Everything he tries to, you know, condense as many ideas as possible in that shit, right?
And I think it's safe to say that if Big L was on
Still
that
going.
same trajectory, it would be Big L,
As the punchers.
then Cassidy, not as an afterthought, but in the similar. In the similar
Killer Cam
type.
and all them,
yeah, definitely. Because L to me, like I said, the godfather of the punch style. Is my phone making sounds? Don't make sounds, phone. But yeah, you know, he just kind of got this ball rolling for the punch style. Like Nas's style, because we're gonna compare rhyme wise. Nas is doing combinations of rhymes and syllables just like Big L, but Nas has focused his talents on storytelling. So we're gonna go through a journey. And then we're going to have something happen. Whereas Big L is like every couplet, you've been hit in the face. Yeah. If you can, every bar, you're going to get hit in the face. But usually it's every couplet. Something happens to you. It's coherent and it's linear, but it's not like we're going through this story with, you know, an arc or something, right? It's just he's going to talk shit till the end of the song, but it's going to be refined in such a way that you just feel idiotic. You know what I mean? But yeah, battles I lose none, I make crews run, I get fools done. That rhyme right there, all that in one single bar, right? So lose none, crews run, fools done. I got 10 fingers, but only use one, right? Because he's got to shoot you, right? I run up like Machine Gun Kelly with the black scully, put one in your belly, leave you smelly, then take your pelly pelly, right? But the pelly pelly, the idea is I feel like he just wanted to rhyme pelly pelly. Right? Like, I think he just wanted to rhyme pelly pelly some kind of way.
Pelly, it just sounds gangster too.
So I mean, everybody was rocking pelly pelly. Yeah. Well, at least my people were.
So take Andre's explanation with that. Like he wanted to rhyme pelly pelly, but it also takes making sure
you matching Kelly.
Yeah, it's another thing to like make it all like not just have the pelly pelly at the end of the line. Because now we're thinking of the pelly pelly as really impactful, all because you had things that led up to it.
Because of the build up.
Right. And the following line is Punani Vamper and Mommy's Hamper. Like, come on.
The neighborhood lamp of Punani Vamper.
So, I mean, come on, man. That's just, the combinations here are dope, man. Unique rhymes are very important, man. In the future, man, there's going to be more artists we cover where we can really emphasize unique rhymes, man.
And sometimes less is more, too. Like, when you brought up that, for example, you smelly,
right?
Like you
don't have to say it's so much in a little piece,
and then by doing less, that actually spoke more volume, you know, by doing that.
And it's a better compliment too, because you can either rhyme with what your bars, the rhyme that your bar's going with, or you could try to risk it and be descriptive and try to find a sub for smelly.
Yeah,
that would honestly, if you were going to try to do that, you would lose the rhyme. You'd lose the pelly pelly. And you'd lose the rest of that.
All that.
Because the Scully rhyme with Black Scully, he said, well, he got the E in there because you're from Machine Gun Kelly with a black
the L-Y,
Scully, right? Yeah. But I'm like L is a genius, so I'm sure he tried to find a way to match Scully with something, or he just probably bent it for belly. You know what I'm saying? But New York rhymers, by the way, lucky guys, New York rhymers get away with more rhymes than California rhymers because they can slant
about that,
car, bar, y'all. Like y'all and barn do not rhyme, but they can make y'all and barn rhyme. We over here in California, we overemphasize R's, so we can't do that. And I say R's like the letter R, not ours. Yeah. But, you know, we overemphasize R's in a way that we can't get away with certain rhymes. But New Yorkers, man, they slant like a motherfucker. New Yorkers, Boston, Chicago rhymers are now getting away with some shit. They can slang a lot of their words. And when I say slang, it's like, you know, baffle, right? But they can say baffoo, and it still counts. You know what I'm saying?
You know what all that makes me think about is here in Cali, there's a lot of people that are influenced with New York, obviously.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
You know, even our styles have a little bit of New York-esque in them. Mm-hmm. But I don't recall really an artist coming out of Cali that sounded more New York. Do you guys think of anybody like that? That sounds like New York, but out of Cali?
Shit.
That's like made it? I can't think
I don't want Kendrick, but because Kendrick is using every bit of everything.
Like to me, Kendrick has no accent.
Yeah.
It's like the most default He's just the most deep.
Nah, Kendrick definitely has an accent. He goes hard with the Cali. He has a Cali accent.
Okay, but certainly
Game.
Yeah,
Game,
you know, it's something
Game.
we don't recognize.
Okay.
The Game might be the closest. He's like LA's 50 Cent, right? It's like he's over here. He could talk shit, say anything, and he won't be affected. He has the same attitude and bravado. Yeah. He does a lot of storytelling. I think Game.
I can see the Game in like.
I could hear the Game in New York.
Yeah.
But the Game's beats would be a lot more energetic, I think, compared to what he has over here. West Coast, his shit is like smooth, like chopped up R&B or Dre, you know, interpolating and making new songs and remixing them and shit. His vibe was a little different. I think Game, maybe, but I was gonna say Corrupt, but Corrupt, no. Corrupt just had his own thing. He's different. E40, nah, he's his own thing. He's different.
No one in the Bay is gonna.
No one in the Bay is gonna sound like New York. But Kendrick to me, because he's just kind of hyper lyrical about his shit.
Yeah.
Crooked Eye for sure. Crooked Eye, he sounds a lot like New York. Crooked Eye's from over here. Some people don't know that Crooked Eye is from over here. So yeah, Crooked Eye to me, because he's hyper lyrical.
Because I think of like I don't consider myself really to rap like I'm out of California. You know, I don't know, but I am.
I mean, what makes your style New York? I thought bravado in the lyrics, braggadocio in the lyrics, and just literally violence. At the most minimum, it's just violence, right? If I wrote a violence-free verse, you would say I went hard, like I went soft, right? Yeah. But if I'm talking about killing, smashing your chick, all that shit, it just sounds more aggressive. And I think that killing, aggressive sound came from New York, because New York is just rugged, bro. Right. Even though West Coast rap, we birthed gangster rap, which was all about violence, debauchery, and all that shit. To me, I feel like it was slower paced compared to New York. New York felt like they were yelling and running and rioting, right? Whereas NWA is like, they sounded like an alarm was going off, but they were walking like unified, like Black Panthers, you know? It wasn't a lot of it was aggressive music, but it didn't feel like it was out of control.
Right.
New York shit feel like a bomb went off and people are running everywhere, bro. Yeah. So yeah,
sometimes you'd literally hear the bombs in the song.
Exactly. So I guess the best, like I'm thinking of Wu-Tang in comparison to like artists from Aftermath, right? Yeah. And there's a totally different vibration, you know. But yeah, Crooked Eye would be the most, I guess, New York sounding West Coast rapper, because he's just super high density lyricism, and it doesn't sound like us. It doesn't sound like Cali. He doesn't emphasize California, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, if you listen to him with no context of where he's from, you go, oh yeah, that's a New York MC. It sounds like he's been battling MCs his whole life. Nope, West Coast. Dang. Yeah, Crooked Eye will blow your mind. Crooked Eye will make you sick.
We got one. MVP. Anything else that you guys want to mention before we go on to the next?
Fire. I need surgery to get chicks removed from my dick, son. Of course, he didn't say it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He's so gangster, he couldn't say dick. But
that's the one he didn't say. I thought that was interesting. Like, that was cool. That he, like,
imagine that. Paused. Big L's holding it back.
He's reserved. He's like Piccolo with the shoulder pads.
Yeah. With the weights.
Which one we got next?
We got, well, let's just do this. 8 is Enough in the Graveyard, because we both kind of put them back and forth. Yeah. Zay picked the Graveyard. I picked 8 is Enough. Me personally, I feel like 8 is Enough. And I'll just go in on this and we'll get straight to the Graveyard. Yeah. 8 is Enough to me is an excellent concept. 8 MCs, and all 8 of them are like going Wu-Tang, right? They're going Wu-Tang. Yeah. And everybody on here, I'm not gonna lie, if you didn't know there were features on this track, right? And you just lean back and chill and close your eyes, they all sound like Big L, bro. Everybody went as hard as Big L. Everybody lyrically matched Big L, man. Big L comes in with the double time, right, which completely differentiates himself from the rest of the group. So we know it's Big L, but the transitions are so smooth, they sound like each other.
Like, I thought he wrote the lyrics for them.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh no, like the first, I think the first like 5 listens, I didn't have the lyrics and shit up, and I didn't have the stats or nothing on it. I forgot there were people on this song. Yeah. So I thought it was all Big L for real. I really thought it was all Big L. And I was like, man, Big L is changing his style up, but he sounds legit. And then as I looked through the lyrics, I was like, oh, there's different MCs. I'm tripping. So on this one, Big L killed it. Shit. Everybody killed it, but I wanted to find, Herb McGruff. This one's dope, man. He did a dope little, the play off of beats. Front on this and get beat bad with big bats that bruise, break bones, then wind up bloody in a body bag.
Some good alliteration right there.
Yeah, he went hard on the alliteration on that shit.
Very good.
Everybody on this song, because I'm going against the Graveyard on this one. Everybody on this track, syllable-wise, flow-wise, rhyme-wise, punchline, consistency. So consistent that it felt like one long Big L verse. The Graveyard to me felt like a posse cut, but it didn't hit as creatively or lyrically dense as this one. Of course, you have bigger names on that on The Graveyard. I argue that 8 is enough is enough.
Killer Cam's on this one.
And Cam's on this one. And it gets funny because when I heard Cam didn't sound like Cam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I heard him, I'm like, yo, what is this?
Where's your glass?
Big L is still spitting like this? No, I'm saying. But when I heard it, when I heard Cam, I was like, oh, this is young Cam. This shit sounds like Common Sense. You know what I mean? Like when you heard early Common.
Yeah.
So yeah, this whole track, everybody contributed something lyrically that I felt was excellent. Excellent. So compared to The Graveyard, I say 8 is enough wins. In the battle of the posse cuts on this album, 8 is enough. So we could roll off of it though. But every MC, syllable game, crazy. Flow game, crazy. Everyone was consistent. No bar breaks. Nobody broke the bar line. Nobody went too far. Everybody has something intense to say, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see your 8 is enough and I'll raise you 10 cents because Big L leads it off with the Big L be lightning like incense, getting men lynched, too intense. I'm killing infants for 10 cents. You know, just the going off of the ints, man, that's just a hard way to start it.
But okay, my argument to this then. Big L, to me, as hard as he went on 8 is enough, he wasn't even that dark. He was still like on some light shit.
True.
The first few songs first 4 songs, we got some light on it, you know?
Yeah.
And then we
Here
progress into
infants.
darkness.
Now he's killing infants.
He's killing infants now. You know what I'm saying?
I like this line because I'm a street genius with a unique
penis.
Got fly chicks on my. They don't even speak English. I'm making ducks shed much tears. Okay, maybe that part.
I buck queers, but I have it all upstairs.
Who the fuck cares?
Oh man,
he just sounds like a madman. He sounds fucking insane.
This is probably the most intense he gets in any part of the discography.
All black. All black is the most intense.
Well,
No, yeah. I'm saying like he sounds I want to say he sounds like pressured or rushed. This in that kind of style, like, but with like graphic terms, yeah, like All Black is gonna be that one. But with this one, it's just like he sounds like he's just rushed or something like that.
I
But
got you. Probably was
maybe
everything
the
was probably
motive
done
of the song,
yeah,
or
probably,
something,
or
but-
maybe it was all done in one session. You feel me?
the guys in the recording,
yeah,
hurry up.
yeah, probably
Filling
was
niggas
done.
with so much lead they can use their dick for a pencil.
That's what I was gonna say. That one right there was hard.
Wait,
That one's
filling
hard.
niggas. Wait, listen.
Pause.
Filling niggas with so they could use their dick for a pencil. So rhyme wise, he's got it, man. I'm like, it's all there. It's all in place, man. I'm known for snatching purses and bombing churches. I get more pussy by accident than most niggas get on purpose. I think 8 is enough to me. It's not as dark, but lyrically, he's still excelling. He's still consistent as Put It On.
Yeah.
To me, this one isn't as consistent. It doesn't feel like 8 is enough.
You know, I like 8 is enough because like 8 dudes bombarding a track, like there's something about that I love. Just like, you know, from every
Yeah,
angle.
no chorus,
right,
just
yeah,
like you're
just-
next.
Yeah, but 8 solid MCs.
8 solid MCs.
That's hard to do, man. That's
a
like
good
some
point
protect
out.
your neck
That's a
shit,
good
man.
point
He
out.
got. It's hard to get 8 MCs to ride on that level,
right?
man.
And to still be the kind of the bigger dog on the track with
And
8
not-
MCs
and not get fucking lost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As far as a writer, you're not writing about anything we're writing about.
Right.
Like I said, if you just chill, you would think Big L wrote everybody's bars. But this one, I don't know. I just feel okay. Lord Finesse does his thing.
Oh yeah,
Lord Finesse is
comes
solid.
off.
he
Miles
does his
on that
thing.
is-
He
Tatum,
does his
styles
thing.
great. The man with more wild flavors than motherfucking now laters.
He really does his thing.
Man.
He goes off on here, classic Lord Finesse, you know.
yeah,
and this is the guy that brought in.
I'm on some
Big L,
Wu-Tang
man.
shit, so protect your neck, nigga, because they're on a posse cut, right? So, I mean, we got the pieces there, but 8 is enough one.
Nah, he's on some Wu-Tang. The 8 track didn't say that.
They didn't have to, bro. 8 members.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, but 8 is enough MCs.
And then, look, rap without finesse, you know, he's basically talking about the 8 track that you're talking about.
Right.
That without finesse is like the NBA without Jordan. So all your New Jacks kicking whack raps, it's a fact that I'll be your
On your
back.
fucking back like a
Knapsack.
knapsack. You holding that shit.
Yo, that was a sick verse right there.
Nah,
I'm gonna
that's
skip
it.
over microphone net. Bless that verse. That verse is good too. But
God bless, son.
Jay-Z coming out on the track. I mean, just hearing him on this, I didn't know he was even on here. But it's kind of cool to hear an early Jay-Z, you know, knowing what he is today.
It's like seeing a young picture
Yeah.
of Jay before all the bread.
Yeah.
And it's like, You were a normal person, man.
A normal guy.
You were just rapping like the rest of us.
Seeing him in a t-shirt, was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, before
Like, I'm
Kanye and all this stuff.
You literally
before
walk
all-
around with people? Like,
Yeah.
nah, this one is, to me, it feels like an old image of Jay. And my man does it, man. But I don't feel like Jay is the standout on the song. I feel like Big L actually really put it down.
I will agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I will agree with you on that.
I don't think Jay outwrote him.
But it is kind of cool though to hear Jay-Z and Big L on the same track with Lord Finesse.
Yeah.
Just the combination of those three, having them on the track. This is something I can picture myself coming back to and listening just for that fact. If I want to hear Lord Finesse, Big L, and Jay-Z on the track, I'm going to come back for this, you know?
Yeah.
And Jay-Z also shows
double
off.
times,
Yeah, he shows
times.
off his double time. I forget which line it is exactly.
Yeah, me too. I was
on
trying to
here,
find it myself.
but he does show it off in here.
Oh, yeah, he's like, I'm never choking off chronic, skills are bionic, bitches
yeah,
are screaming
that's
like
right.
onyx.
That's right.
Respect that I peel a punk's cap back and sign it.
Yeah, that's right. That's why he does it. Yeah, but you know, it's just cool to kind of see an early Jay-Z here. That's what it is for me. That's the part of the factor of why I chose this, because it was just nice to see an early picture of somebody who you knew was also going to be great one of these days, and it was cool. It was cool to have those three on this track.
Well, I argue that 8 Is Enough is the better posse cut. Let us know what y'all think, man.
Yeah.
I think 8 Is Enough is
Settle
consistent.
this debate for us.
Consistent
exactly.
through every artist out of 8 MCs. That feat is difficult, man. Me and Mark have been on posse cuts where 3 of us handle business and the rest are too high to even make sense of what's going on. They just say any fucking thing. So 8 MCs on one track and it's solid and it's consistent. I gotta go with 8 Is Enough. So yeah, bam, that's my vote. What y'all thinking?
So with those two out of the way, which is the next that we all came upon?
I thought we were either on what? Lifestylez of the Poor and Dangerous or Fed Up with the Bullshit?
Fed Up with the Bull.
All right. Lifestylez of the Poor and Dangerous, long story short, great storytelling, great depiction of just Harlem, the suffering of people in Harlem, the darkness of Harlem. Yeah. And I just thought it was funny that he killed Chuck. He has a homie that he robs people with named Chuck, and then at one point in the song, he just turns on Chuck and kills him.
Yeah. Talked about, like, hyped him up, like, he was my boy.
My friend, we used to stick people
shot
up.
him. Took his half.
Took his half. Like, he killed him and took his shit. I was like, okay, that's Harlem grime right there, bro.
That reminds me of Immoral Techniques, Dance with the Devil.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It felt like that. It just felt like, yo, you just being dark and evil, man. But Big L, as far as if we could talk about that dark side, because we, you know, the album opens up with some light tracks, about 4 tracks of lightness. Then we descend into darkness by the time we get to All Black.
Well, me and Andre were talking about this before we got started on the podcast today, because he was asking me why I chose Fed Up. And I told him the reason why is because when I was listening through this album, there was a lot of stuff that I didn't really like, you know, at this point in my age, about like sticking up people and, you know, just kind of getting your kicks off of doing these sins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just wasn't something like I felt is the better side of humanity. So, but I get it though, because you're talking about, and that's what this whole album's about, you know, lifestyles of the poor and dangerous.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're talking about.
It's authenticity in some
So
aspects.
I do understand that the topic of the subject why he's spinning this. But I just felt like Fed Up was kind of the more issue that was relevant today as well. Because, I mean, this we're still seeing, you know, up till today's time. And he was spinning this back in 1994. And I felt like it wasn't as...
96, I think.
It wasn't all about him on this. Like, even though it was about him, but it was kind of a bigger...
message as to the
concept.
From the city as a whole to everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. And also just generally, the fact that, you know, there's times and moments in our lives where we're fed up with BS. Like, there's times where I'm like, man, I'm over this. This is bull. Like, you know, and I love that general that relates, I think, in a wide range. But now he focuses in on what's kind of eating at him every day, you know, and I love that he brings that out.
Well, can I speak on just the arc of the album to where we end up here?
Yeah.
Put it on MVP, no ends, no skins, 8 Is Enough. We're all light. Right. It's like light, fun. I won't say fun. There's nothing fun about what he's doing. He's killing you guys. But it's just, it's more of a lyrical exercise, lyrical content, lyrical ideas. No Ends, No Skins is kind of a funnier song if you put it in that context. If you broke, you and get no pussy, right? Then we transition to All Black, and that's where we hit horrorcore zone. So All Black, Danger Zone, Street Struck, even the Graveyard.
Yeah.
These are all the dark songs. This is where we
Killing
get dark.
Infants in the Graveyard.
Yeah, it's dark. And then after we get dark, or Lifestylez of the Poor and Dangerous, that's like the darkest, right? Yeah. We have now hit the title track. This is straight up darkness. Yeah. After that, he gets philosophical. I don't understand it. Fed up with the bullshit, right? And now we're kind of thinking about what we've experienced up to this point. He's almost, I wouldn't say critiquing what he's doing as a killer or whatever. He's just saying, I have to kill because this is what's going on. I have to. Yeah. They're killing, I have to kill, right? And then he ends it with Let Him Have It. And it's just, one more lyrical track before we get out of here. Almost feels like a bonus, you know?
Yeah.
But
I do want to also mention, too, on All Black, because when I was listening to it through, I actually like All Black.
All Black is dope.
I love the beat. I love the rhymes. And this kind of goes to the point I was saying earlier. Some cats, might just love the lyricism. I just love the beat. But then I turned my listening ear on and was listening to what he's saying, right? And for those who don't know, my father was a pastor. I've just had a Christian upbringing my whole life, blah, blah, blah. So when I'm listening to this, even objectively, when I'm listening to this, this is my own personal opinion, my own personal beliefs on this. What we say, I feel like are going to be accountable for, and we manifest. And just like people who say, the Titanic's never going to sink, or the Beatles, like, we're greater than Jesus or whatever. Right. Those lines that you say come back, and I don't know, karma, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. It comes back to get you, I believe, me personally. So when you listen to All Black, as dope as he is, dopest MC.
Satan says, I'm proud of you. You're going to burn in hell, right? That line, right?
Basically talking about, I'm going to sneak a gat into heaven, doing all this. Like, it was basically very blasphemous, very blasphemous. And we've listened to some blasphemous. There's a lot of blasphemy in hip hop, even today.
Yeah, right. I mean,
really heavy,
rebellion. This is the music. This is the music of rebellion.
There's a lot of, in hip hop, I would say, like, there's a lot of, I'm not going to say satanic or get into all that, but there are a lot of dark things like that in hip hop today, right now. Little Uzi Vert, Lucifer.
Yeah.
Little Uzi. Yeah. So it's in today's hip hop.
Yeah.
But what I want to say to this is that in All Black, because he in Danger Zone, he talked about the street that was very was considered the danger zone, and not far away from there is when he got shot.
Yeah.
And I'm just putting this out there for young MCs who get tied up in this, or, who might think, I could say whatever. I just,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, what we say can manifest things, and our words are so powerful. There's so much energy and vibrance to what we say. I don't know if we realize it, but, it's so powerful. Just, that's all I'm saying. And I'm not here to preach anything. I'm just saying. So,
amen to that, brother.
All that being said, it's sick rhymes, dope beat, like
uncomfortable listening.
Yes,
yeah. One of the only times where he actually has an all speaking verse to him.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
He was on his Slim Shady. He was on his Slim Shady. He
was on his Slim Shady shit.
Yeah, that's what Slim Shady. I'll get a Ouija board and what I mean. Yeah. That's what Slim Shady does. Maybe it was from Big L. I don't know, but what I mean?
I got you, man. And that's a great point to make too. It's just the music that hip hop is rebellion music. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as the years go on, how much more rebellious can I appear to be? Then I can, I've heard songs where people are literally going to God and shooting him, right?
Yeah.
And I have to break these songs down, bro. But the idea is simple. It's the writer saying, I want to be extreme. I want to be rebellious. I want to look far past what you are looking at, right? And that's what it feels like. But Big L, to me, felt like he was representing Harlem. He was just talking about, and the scarier part is, what if Harlem is really that terrifying? Right. Huh? We're Californians, homie.
Right.
So I know hoods, man. I know hoods on the Cali side. There's some places I can't go, right? But in New York, I don't know how that works. I really don't. Especially in the 90s, man. The 90s where you can't be tracked. Ain't nobody, there's no cameras to protect you. So I like the idea of, as grimy and dark as he went, I feel like he really wanted to reflect what is around him. That's all this is. This music is These songs are just images of what we were experiencing at the time. That's all it is. So Big L's taking a picture, and it might be terrifying. It might look like The Ring to you, right? But it's really just Harlem. So that's just what it is. I feel like he's just showing you the grimy, horrific depiction of what the streets are like. And then, of course, it might be coded in that like dark, disturbing imagery. But the idea is a lot of these MCs say they're living in hell, right? Or the hood is hell, right?
Yeah, hell on earth.
Hell on earth.
Mobb
So
Deep.
what do you do when you're the king of where you are? Then you're probably going to be Satan or the devil, and they always take that role. Yeah. I'm not justifying this angle. I feel like if you got a pen, you don't have to write in that direction, right? As a black man, I don't have to write the N-word when I rap. That's a choice I can make, and I don't have to use it. I could just be more creative. To me, Big L, I don't feel like he went back creatively. I feel like he tried to go deeper conceptually on an idea. Doom goes pretty dark, right? But he doesn't go as horrorcore as Big L goes. But Doom, you can hear a Doom verse and go, man, the streets are just fucking filthy, right? So anyway, to shorten it, Big L's imagery on I keep calling it all dark, but it's all black because it's all dark. It's all black. So everything on that track, as I was listening to it, just like you, I have sensibilities. And I just like, man, this makes me uncomfortable. So if the whole album was this, I don't know who Big L would be in the bigger picture thing, So to have pop sensibility and then to also pair it with, the underground deep cut type shit. Yeah. And then now we're here at the philosophical shit, fed up with the bullshit. I feel like the album has a great arc. It really does make sense. We have light and then we get dark. And then after the darkness, we have inquiry. We're like, what's really going on? Why the fuck is this happening? Right. Mm-hmm. So let's get into it, man. Why'd you like, you already said why you like Fed Up with the Bullshit, but it is a deviation from darkness.
I just felt like it was so authentic. It was something real that was maybe bugging him or, just that.
Yeah,
just that. It just felt like he was speaking
sure.
from here. It felt like, he was letting something off of his chest. And he was, the thing about Big L, he's so good at whatever subject or whatever he wants to talk about, he's so good at encapsulating that fully. Like, the big picture is exactly what he does. He captures that big picture. It's like a panoramic view. That's what Big L does. And he puts it into a track and he captures like everything that you could think of in that topic. It feels like he captures it.
Yes. That is the brother that's big. I'm not a little kid. I'm a nig who don't dig a motherfucking pig. Fuck the cops, right? Because to me, they ain't nothing but harassers that misuse their badges to whoop niggas' asses.
This is just a real subject.
Yeah. To me, it's just bringing you down to the ground level.
Yeah.
And through the song, you'll see that there's at least roots to some truth in the story that he was actually involved in. So this is more. This is not only is it going to be impactful to him on this internal level, but for his mission for this song is to externalize and let people know, hey, look, this is an issue that we may all constantly deal with if we're a minority dealing with police brutality.
Still happening.
And he feels, I think in this song, he feels like it's his mission to be the one that says, hey, look, I'm fed up with this bullshit. I think everyone else is too.
Yeah.
They say that my skin was black, so they attacked, threw me on the back and stuck a gat to my fucking cap.
Yeah.
So like... he's talking about the police still.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound fictional in my world, but other people could see this as fiction. And the idea is simple though, man. Cops did crazy shit, man. My pops has crazy stories about what the cops was doing to people in the hood, man.
Well, just like systematically, like
they just show up and they fuck your life up. But that was the 90s though, and it's like, nowadays, even though it's traced and tracked, it happens differently. You know what I mean? Back then, pops was like, they wanted to fuck you up.
Yeah.
A cop will pull up on you. Oh, I got 5 black people. I can't wait to fuck with y'all. Everybody on the wall.
Yeah.
They start searching them, messing with them, harassing them. It's just what it was back then.
There are too many young black brothers doing life bids because just us means just us white kids.
I like
Yes.
that. I wrote that down.
That's
I wrote that line down because that was sick.
The
Justice
maybe an homage to Richard Pryor because one of his stand-ups, he's like, what they say about justice, it's just us.
It's just us.
Yeah. So that's cool that he's actually like
referencing,
either referencing or just using that same wordplay, and it's like it's cool that it doesn't get what Richard Pryor says doesn't get lost into other people. Like it's actually blending in.
And this is one of the hooks that
he's on.
That he does do.
That he does do.
That I love, and it was so like I could just feel him on this hook, like, and I'm fed up with the bull, like, and that's just like, man, I feel you.
It feels real. It feels real.
I feel you on that.
Authenticity, you feel me?
And he pulled that hook off. It's one of the tracks that I could feel like, that's a staple track right there. It's a solid track.
It's unfortunate that we still deal with police brutality, though.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's, you know, the bigger picture is like it's something that's been happening for so long that it almost feels systematic.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and he even mentions that somewhere in here. He says, you know, just forget F the system. Like, you know, it entirely it's all tainted, you know, in a way.
Niggas in the street got tough luck. First they get cuffed up, then get roughed up. That's fucked up. Rhyme style, man. Just that rhyme style. That's Nas's shit, right? That's what Nas would do.
Yep.
But Nas and his storytelling would sound similar to this. But to me, Big L isn't his strong suit. Isn't the storytelling? I feel like he's just more puncher. You know, hands. You know, he's always gonna land a punch.
And then he always like, man, you know what? I also wanted to mention while he's writing this, he's all like, I'm not only fed up with these cops, I'm also fed up with these punk ass cab drivers who don't stop.
Oh yeah, when they try to,
they don't care if it's
they see that your
snowing.
skin's black.
First they slow down, they see
that your skin's
skin
black.
is brown, then they keep going. Because if I wasn't white, the cab took flight, but I caught him at the light and put a bullet through his windpipe.
Right, and then he killed him. Right, the big he's already he's the problem though.
He's all like, I'm fed up with this, but I solved the problem.
But I solved my problem by killing him.
In my eyes, I guess I solved it.
I solved the problem of people scared of black people by killing
He's
the
fed
cab
up
driver.
with this bullshit, guys.
Cab driver didn't pick me up. I just killed him.
I just feel like it was a solid track, authentic. He did the chorus, like he did some storytelling. He did punches, like he kind of laid it all out. Other than the double time thing, he didn't do in here, but like other than that, it kind of displays a lot in here that I really like. Maybe he didn't. Yeah, there's a part also too. He does have a side that Andre mentioned that is like horrorcore kind of.
Well, it is. Yeah,
He didn't mention that, and he didn't do like any horrorcore in here.
Yeah.
Perhaps
Minus the
that's why I chose
snuffing
it.
of the cab driver at the end, so it's just super light. If anything,
super light. It's not a lot. It's
anything,
not a lot
super
of
light.
killing.
That's true. That's true.
But I guess in
It's
regards
not
to
an infant, you know.
in regards to all that we had saw on the album up to this point, he just he took a turn for the philosophical, and to me, I think that's a really dope idea. Start light, get dark, and then you don't have to end dark. You can end with something like what we have here. But yeah, the last 3 tracks to me is like inquiry, and then the last just a lyrical track, and then we're out of there. And then if you have it on loop, man, it's like the last track really almost transitions into Put It On again.
Back to Put It On, yeah.
And then everything just kind of keeps flowing. So it almost feels like this is really the last song.
Yeah.
And then after that, everything just kind of keeps rolling.
So I love the fact too that, you know, Lord Finesse put him on, and then he kind of pays it forward, and he puts on all these other cats in his hood. Puts them on. He believes in them. Lets them do.
There's
their
a lot
thing.
of shout outs in this, this whole
Tons
album.
of shout-outs.
So he's putting a lot of people over for
Fat
sure.
Joe. Yeah, he shouts out a gang of people, man.
Yeah.
And
Kid
it's
Capri.
kind of cool because
Kid Capri.
you see all these guys that you know now are big names. Like, this was the early days where they were like looking up to Big L.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, with all this coverage that we did on this album here, what do you take away from this, Andre, with Big L? And
It's the seed, man. I think what this show, that's hip hop, is us basically showing y'all the seeds. And this is one of the bigger seeds. This seed to me is the birth of that punchline. And what I mean by punchline style is at the end of the bar, there's something interesting that happens. That's all it is. And a lot of MCs now, after Big L passed, started to adopt the punchline style, and then they just went further and harder with it. So more rhymes, more punching, to the point where we get the Lil Wayne style, where it's every single line is a punchline now, you know? Cassidy, almost every line is a punchline. Fabulous at the time, a lot of punches. Everything was punching. A lot of Dipset had the punch style too, you know? And then Cameron developed, and he kind of got, to another level. But anyway, Big L was that seed. And then we just got to see a lot of other MCs kind of inherit what he left here.
Yeah. If anything, Big L's going to be the first story, and then everyone's like, oh man, I could build off this. I could build off this thing. It just made this whole like tenement at the end of it with like, you know, Cassidy, with Nas really coming into form too, especially with the storytelling.
Yeah.
A lot of people can thank Big L for a lot, even because at this point at this point the big picture comes out after he passes away. So Lifestylez of the Poor and Dangerous is going to be the only one where he gets his respect.
where he was alive.
Yeah,
when he was alive.
It was his respect. He gets his props all throughout when this album comes out, and gosh, man,
It's the most authentic Big L we get before his passing. Honestly.
Yeah, because big picture, you look after the fact. It was released on Rawkus after the fact.
Yeah.
And with this one, I'm just glad that there's a time where there's people actually giving all praise due, like to Big L for a solid record.
Yeah.
I just feel like he left a big impression on the hip hop like culture, on just
he didn't even know he was a father to
Right,
his style, bro.
right,
Like,
exactly. He's just making
that's
good music,
I think that's what I was just trying to come up with,
Yeah.
but it was like it's an ancient style that even the true sensei is not a part of.
Right.
he was a rising star that, just never was, you could see the wave of his hype coming. Like you could see it, especially after Ebonics, like that really was like a new surgeon's like, man, who's this Big L guy?
Yeah.
And so it's just like one of those things is.
It was momentum. It was more momentum.
Gone, and then Gone by the Way of the Gun too, man. And that's just, it's
It kind of comes back to his lyrics, man.
Yeah. It does. And, I feel like with Big L, like there's a reason why we're talking about him.
No.
There's a reason why we're talking about him, because he really made his mark. There's some rappers who are like that, man. There's some rappers like, let's say Tupac, Biggie. Look, they were young cats, but they made their mark.
They did.
They made their mark. It's like they have their banners in the rafters. Like it's forever. You're gonna always know of Biggie, Pac. You're gonna always know of these legends. Big L was a legend. Didn't even know it yet.
yeah.
He was a legend. Similar vein to like Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was a legend. We didn't get the full picture of Nipsey Hussle, but the little that we did get, we knew already. Oh, this dude's doing it. So Big L is like in that light where it was one of those cats that was smart, very street smart, intelligent, witty, styles upon styles upon styles. That's Big L here, man. And he was like you said, like a godfather of this. A lot of people respected and feared Big L, so you can only imagine. Woo! Big L is fire. Even to this day, listening to his stuff.
He's the one you could really connect true hip hop heads with.
Yeah.
Hey, you listen to Big L though, right? It's like, hell yeah. Dude. Like, all right, cool. Like we're good.
And that's kind of one of the beauties I love of recording, because music in a way to me is like endless, or it's timeless.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Michael Jackson's not here no more, but you listen to a Michael Jackson joint, you feel it like he's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the beauty about recording too, is that you kind of become immortalized in a way. And I feel like in some sense for those true hip hop heads, Big L is forever immortalized. Same vein as MF Doom, forever immortalized. And that's the thing is, when you come with it, you're going to be immortalized too. That's what I think. So with that being said, it was an honor covering Big L with you guys. Like, I feel like this is one of those episodes, like we kind of like started actually on time, sort of, you know what I mean? And the journey continues.
Yes,
The journey continues.
absolutely.
And we'll be covering some, I don't know who we're going to come up with next, but
Somebody.
whoever it is, like they're going to catch wreck. They're going to catch wreck. Any final thoughts that you guys want to say?
I just wanted to ask anybody who's still here, what do you guys feel about posthumous releases? I hate saying that word. Posthumous releases, albums released after the passing of the artist.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel about that? Maybe we could have a discussion on that entirely by itself, and we share our opinions on it. But what do you guys think about an artist passing away and somebody finishing their unfinished work? I just wanted to know.
And were you a virgin before crack came out, and were you not a virgin after crack came out?
Yeah.
Also, let us know in the comments. Like, man, I could really thank crack for that.
Imagine the mixture of messages in here, like one all heartfelt, one all
Everyone's
like
going,
about
what
crack.
the hell are these guys talking about?
More answers for the crack question.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you guys' following us and the love, the support. We're gonna keep on dropping episodes every Monday. Stay blessed. Go Lakers. We're gonna win it all, baby.
Yes,
Laker
all
Nation.
in the Western Conference. I'm
Laker
all
Nation.
for you guys.
Laker Nation. We actually have a bigger New York
Go
listening
New
audience.
York, go New York,
Anyways.
go. Of course.
Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.